We are back now with some changes at the border today aimed at getting more Canadians here into the United States. You might remember the U.S. opened the border to fully vaccinated Canadians earlier this month, but leaders on both sides say that it really hasn't led to much travel.
Yeah, and they say in part that's because of the requirement that Canadians have to get a negative test within 72 hours of them coming back to Canada, even if that means getting an expensive rapid test here in the U.S. So we take a live look at the Peace Bridge tonight where those requirements have changed. As of today, Canadians who are returning from the U.S. don't need that test as long as their trip was less than 72 hours.
But there's also another important change that we did not know about. Immigration attorney Rosanna Berardi, who you've seen on this show many times before, tells us that the Canadian Border Services Agency is now requiring every traveler fill out the Arrive Can app before they cross, and you must have it ready to show to an agent when you get there.
This is going to be required of any traveler going into Canada. So whether it's you or I, or a Canadian comes down for a day of shopping at the Galleria, in order to return to Canada, they need to have the most recent Arrive Can app updated with all of.
And that's important there because the other changes only applied to Canadians. So what happens if you're headed across the border from the U.S. and you don't have the app updated?
I would imagine that if an American showed up and didn't have this completed, they would turn you around and say, go back home. I don't think they want to be in the business of saying, okay, now go quarantine at the Four Seasons Hotel or wherever in Canada. I think they would just say, sorry, you've got to return to your home country, until you get this completed.
They'd say sorry. But you have to do it. Getting turned around could ruin pretty much your whole trip because remember, the timing matters here. Your negative test only lasts so long, so that's why you really want to pay attention to all this fine print.
Yeah, and Rosanna says she deals with countless emails and phone calls from clients trying to fill it out. So have it done ahead of time. And one other important point here, she says it was recently updated. So if you filled it out before, make sure you have the most recent version and be aware that you might have to fill it out all over again.
I did it once before when I went to Toronto, but it does me no good now.
Do it again, Michael?
To re-download it. All right.